diys-by-dar. Take 5 for summer vibes. This is an open YouTube playlist, a collaboration with Jeannie's Palette and Funky Junk Inspiration. And I went out and I found this lovely Victorian chair, but it was in bad shape. What I can find on this chair, it is a vintage Victorian piece and a really nice one. Goes for about $325. But this one has many problems because it has these 2 holes and then something coming up here on the side. So I think at one time it did have some arms, and it looks like it has been broken before and somebody did repair it. Let's see, where was that? Oh yeah, okay. It's over here. It looks like it was fractured in a couple areas there and then a little bit further up in that spot. I may, because one of the fractures there is a little bit off, I may fix that. That's all I really want to fix on this chair. So I'm not quite sure what my design plan is. I'm coming up with that, but it's been all cleaned and dried in the sun and sterilized in the sun. So let's get to it. This chair had a sticky on it, so I needed to get the surf prep out, and I went ahead and I get the surf prep in my hand and I just keep it going. I went ahead and took some Minwax wood filler, and I am going to go ahead. Whoever repaired these did a good job. They used wood glue. It looks like some very nice joins except for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and try to fill where that's cracked anyway. And I am just going to use a sponge to wipe that excess off because I don't feel like sanding this. So from there, where I went was I had a dowel rod and I had another one, but do you think I could find it that would have fit the hole? So I just went with the one that I had just to fill up some of that space. And I'm going to go ahead and pop these into those holes and put a little bit of this tape on the underside so I can fill that without everything falling out the bottom. And then when it is set up, I'm going to flip it over and then I will fill that bottom portion. And once again, I am going to take that sponge and I am just going to wipe that smooth. Once again, I'm trying to avoid some sanding here. And I had to tape this chair off because this was a nice seat. You can see at the bottom how it has all been strung in there individually. Everything looks good. I popped some wooden rounds into those holes that were there, and I used some Star Bond medium. This is like a super glue, so be careful. But it sure works great on wood and pretty much everything. So I'm going to pop all these into the 4 holes and they will become part of my chair at this point. Wow, the tape fairy was here and she taped this for me. I'm so happy. I hope she comes back. Now, I want to protect this seat, and I'm just going to take a piece of wax paper and measure that out and cut that out with a pair of scissors. And I will get this affixed over the top so I don't accidentally get any paint drips, any type of drip down on that seat. And I am ready to paint with my Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Caviar. And this chair was so dried out. It was just sucking this paint right in. Plus, I think it was also the environment I was in. I am in my pool room where I have my exercise pool. And it was drying so fast. I had to use quite a bit of water. 2 coats later, here we are. I'm letting it cure in the sun a bit before I proceed. And I am going to make myself some gold paint with some Liquitex medium gel and some mica powder. that's about how much I put in there. And I don't have a recipe, just eyeball it to the point that you want it to be. Then you're going to have to mix that up real well. And when you open a jar of mica powder, it's almost dangerous because it seems like it just flies all over. And there I have some. And I'm going to try to wipe this off as best I can over everything over the top, which it did come off enough. And I am heading for some stencils. And I have some Made by Marley Splendid Stencils. You can find them at www.madebymarley.co.uk. They make beautiful decoupage paper, wonderful stencils, and I am a brand ambassador for that company. This stencil is not a Made by Marley stencil. This is one I believe I got off Amazon. I like this one. I've used it a lot, but now I'm going to cut it because I can't really get that stencil in close, tight to those rungs on that chair. So I'm going to sacrifice the stencil. And my stencil brush, I lost it at one point and I was distraught. I better find another one like this. I have a little piece of cardboard to offload, and I use the swirly twirly method. I don't dab it with a sponge. I need some speed when I'm going. So I just swirly twirly that on, and I usually have very good luck with that. And here is a little speeded up example of this. Straight down with your stencil brush when you can will give you the best results. And there we have it. I am going to go all the way around this chair and down the sides. Pretty much done with that portion. We are ready to head on to the next stage of this, which is my Made by Marley stencil. And I believe this one is posies because it has a beautiful group of flowers in it. And I'm getting my base down. And these are very nice stencils. I mean, I only used this one off of the 3 sheets that came in that packet. So I can see the potential in how I can use this group. All right, when I looked at that, the colors were not what I was really liking. The green was a bit dark. So out comes the tiny brush. We're going to do some hand painting on this. And I did use chalk paints for this. So I'm going to get these leaves repainted, and I'm going to get the flowers repainted. So let's just sit back and see what I do. That portion's completed. I'm ready to head to the next one, which will be I am going to take this outside and use some 2X Ultra Cover Matte Clear because I'm not taking the chance, and I'm just spraying those flowers that I painted with the chalk paint. I have faith. The other seems to be pretty good for coverage. I've got the Min Wax Polycrylic crystal clear flat and a blue sponge. I will see how this goes. By the end, I was using a brush, and then I went to a small non-lint rag to get around the spindles because it was maddening. If anybody knows how to really get rid of these bubbles when you create them, other than following up quickly with a brush, you can see my load of bubbles there I'm not happy about, which I had to brush down. That I would like to know how to prevent all this bubbling. I think sponges are made for flat surfaces. The sponge came in handy here, and this mixture of Liquitex and the mica powder does not run. It stayed on there, and I did not have a problem throughout the whole chair. So that was a great thing to know. Now, remember, there we were when we started, and here we are now. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank Jeannie's Palette and Funky Junk Inspiration for this open YouTube playlist. And I also want to thank Lel and Marty at Made by Marley Decoupage Papers. They make all the wonderful stencils and papers that I use. Then I'm going to go ahead and mention our group called the Flippin' Bunch. We meet every Wednesday night at 7 for a live, so catch us there on YouTube. And I want to thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, it's free. I'll catch you on the next one.